let's also set the stage for a new week. On this Monday night, some NBA action.
Wow.
Two premier NBA handicappers in studio, live in person together. DRS, just 4 weeks remaining in this NBA regular season. Most teams have 15, 14, maybe even fewer than that left in terms of their regular season contests. Still outstanding. So everything that happens right now for a team that is hunting down a postseason spot, all about playoff positioning. That includes out west, where the Golden State Warriors, winners of 7 straight, trying to make it 8 in a row tonight in San Francisco. 4.5-point spread in favor of the Dubs, taking on the Denver Nuggets. Total stands at 236.5. What do you like by the bay?
Let's go ahead. Let's keep the win streak going at this point here. You take a look at the opening line at 3.5 here in New Jersey at the FanDuel Sportsbook. Now up to 4.5, and it's 4.5 now at most outlets as well. The total, 239, now sits at 236.5, so a little bit of a drop. I like when streaks happen, and streaks matter to NBA teams. And you're also taking a look at the Golden State Warriors, getting ready for playoff positioning right now. And the Denver Nuggets sit currently, I believe, still ahead of them at this point, even with the win streak at this point. So you want to chase them down. I like this matchup for Golden State, and I agree with that line movement. Shame we couldn't get to 3.5, but the 4.5 will do just fine here.
The Warriors have made their way out of the play-in tournament courtesy of this 7-game win streak. They have 1 fewer loss, but also 1 fewer win right now than that of the Minnesota Timberwolves, who actually are the hottest team in the Western Conference. They have won 8 straight games. So Golden State trying to hold off Minnesota. Denver in the 3 spot as of this moment. Same exact record as the Houston Rockets, but a couple of tiebreakers. The Rockets have won 6 in a row. Now Houston jockeying into that spot for the 2 seed. We have seen a lot of change in terms of 2 through 6, 2 through 7 in the Western Conference standings. The only change we have not seen, the top team in the Western Conference, now 56-12, winners of 3 in a row. That's the Oklahoma City Thunder. Road victory last night in Milwaukee. Speaking of Minnesota, the hottest team out west. They have won 8 consecutive games. They're at home tonight in the Twin Cities, taking on the Pacers. 7.5-point spread in favor of the Timberwolves. Total at 229. How do you break down this matchup?
Yeah, obviously, hot streaks, win streaks, you usually want to ride those out. But when you take a look at 3.5 to 4.5, a lot different than 8 and 7.5 is what you're seeing now. Line opened up overnight at the FanDuel Sportsbook, -8 points toward the home team, Minnesota Timberwolves. That has now dropped to 7.5. A slight difference there on the total, 230.5 to 229. For me, I'm going to take the points at the 7.5 with the Pacers. Do I think there's a legitimate chance they can win that game? Yes, I do. But more importantly, I'm getting 7.5. Close game down the stretch here. 2-3 points goes either way. You still come away with a victory. Do I think Minnesota's the better team tonight? Yes. They're favored. They're supposed to win this game. I'll take the points with the Pacers tonight. Not necessarily to end the streak, but to keep it close enough where I have a legitimate chance to cover.
The Pacers 13-13 against the spread as an underdog this season. Minnesota in the 8-game win streak has covered in 6 of those 8 wins. Golden State has been great, by the way, winners of 7 straight. And with Jimmy Butler in the fold, they have been covering numbers a ton as well. A 10-game slate around the association on this Monday night. A lot late night. We've got 4 games starting after 10 p.m. Eastern time out there on the West Coast. Not this one inside Madison Square Garden. The New York Knicks back inside the Mecca after, of course, the Big East tournament this past week. The Knicks a 7.5-point favorite. Low total of 210 and a hook as they host the Miami Heat. It wasn't all that long ago, DRS.
Yeah.
We saw totals in the low 240s for the New York Knicks. This one at 210 and a hook.
Yeah, no Brunson still anticipated back for this game as we wait on his injury status. The 6.5s, though, have moved to 7.5s across the board here, particularly in New Jersey. And you're right, a really low number, 210.5 sitting at the FanDuel Sportsbook. Some other outlets as low as 209.5 right now. It's simple for me. Do I think the Knicks win this game? Yes, but I think that price point is a little bit too high for me. I'll take the Miami Heat because it looks like they have a full go starting lineup tonight going into the Garden. And I've talked about this many times. There's very few places during the regular season which teams get excited to play. Madison Square Garden is one of those. You're never going to get a team like, oh, man, we're at the Garden tonight. Like, no, they're excited for this one. They'll play within that. I'll take the 7.5 points here tonight with the Miami Heat.
The Heat 13-17-1 against the spread as an underdog this season. The Knicks have gone under in 8 of their last 10. They finished that West Coast 5-game road trip just 2-3 straight up. An underdog 3 times. They did cover in their last game against Golden State. Very low scoring in that matchup against the Dubs. Neither team got to the century mark. Let's continue to break down all of our action around the association on this Monday night. There's not a lot left for the Philadelphia 76ers, DRS. But as we shared, the Houston Rockets, winners of 6 in a row in H-Town tonight. 15.5-point spread in favor of the Rockets. Is Paul George even still playing for the 76ers?
I don't even know. He's like witness protection at this point. And by the way, you take a look at the Sixers, who won a game they probably should not have won against the Dallas Mavericks, but then again, the Dallas Mavericks are probably tanking out as well. It's 2 touchdowns in this game. I would play it probably minus 9.5 in the first half, and here's the reason why. Sixers are looking to start Jared Butler. I don't know if that's, Jimmy Butler's brother. No idea who that guy even is.
The stud for Baylor that won a national championship with the Bears?
Exactly. Justin Edwards. I mean, that guy could be like an NPC in a video game at this point here. You take a look at Ricky Council, the fourth, and Gershon Yabusele. Like, that's the starting lineup that they have. Like, that's the best of it tonight. They're getting hammered. They will be down double digits at the break.
I guess the only good thing for the Sixers, they have dropped 6 of their last 8. There are so many more losses since the month of February began. They have covered in 3 of their last 4 as an underdog. They have also gone over a ton recently. 6 of the last 7 games for Philadelphia, they have played to the over of that number. The Sixers, 23-44. Again, Houston trying to hold off Denver. The Rockets, a hefty favorite at home. Denver, a slight underdog on the road in San Francisco. Could be an even bigger distinction right there for the 2-3 split around the Western Conference. Other important games late night out on the West Coast. The Lakers at home against the San Antonio Spurs. 9-point spread. Is that the return of one LeBron James tonight against San Antonio? Or is that just how bad the Spurs are now without De'Aaron Fox as well?
Probably just as bad. I got Luka Doncic, Jordan Goodwin, Austin Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Jackson Hayes is that potent lineup out here. And then Chris Paul action tonight. Come on. Little Castle. Keep the number inside there. Come on now. What do you got? Come on, Spurs.
San Antonio might end up in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes somehow, some way. The Suns, by the way, because the Mavericks are struggling, just a game and a half out of the final play-in turning position. They're an 8.5-point home favorite tonight in the Valley against the Toronto Raptors.